Four seasons lost. In Austin, I saw pause. My eyes crawled to a table. Paralyzed by pairwise dice, then a 10 to this heaven slice of an angel wrapped in skin on dice and woes of life. Love deprived, looking at her vibe. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise, crystal chandeliers, moments reflected. Often mirrors appear clear, graded from ear to ear. Craving and raving and grain, rekindle the flame. Closer she draws near, stay there. Remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, in paradise, we know our purpose.
Yes, it is. The truth is what you can see. Welcome to this edition of the Unpopular Hour. Of course, I'm your host, Matt Clark. I'm right in the middle of watching the USA Wales soccer game. World Cup started yesterday in Qatar, and of course, Qatar lost the opening set, and then England smashed around. Sound like a football score. Football, as in football, not soccer football, but American football. 6-0 this morning. And then right now, the USA are winning 1-0 the start of the second half. So I'll keep you updated. Hopefully, people will be sending me messages so that I can kind of keep you guys updated on that. Hopefully, you all are watching, my show and then watching the soccer match as well, hopefully. But anyway, like I said, U.S. up 1-0 against Wales. So I'm excited about that thus far, and excited about what's happening with the USA team. So tonight, of course, the Thunder are at home in action tonight against the Knicks. It's going to be a good game. The Knicks, of course, are going to try. They're 8-9. We're 7-9. So they're going to be trying to get a little revenge on us for what we did to them at Madison Square Garden. And we just got to do what we've been doing the whole time. And our keys are really simple to our Thunder games. I mean, it's not rocket science. These are the things that we have got to do. And I know that a lot of people are just like, well, why do you do it? I said, because it's the same stuff. Thunder keys. We got to get off to a good start. You need to cut down on the turnovers. We need to limit the open looks of the opposing team. We need to attack the paint and play within ourselves. And when we got out of this structure that I have right here, these keys, that's what happens to us. But we got to keep getting off to a good start every first of every quarter, so that we do not get behind and we're not playing from this huge deficit that we've got to come back. But of course, it's the NBA, and 17 points or 18 points is nothing. We got to limit the open looks again. Once again, just keep our hands in their faces. They're going to shoot a lot of threes. That's fine, because what have I always told you all? Long shots equal long rebounds, equal easy layups, equal getting into the flow of the game offensively for us, and then we shoot, our three-point percentage goes up. And then, of course, just continue to attack the paint, and as long as we do that, we will be fine. And then just like, the whole thing is that getting off to a good start means SGA gets off to a good start, because once he gets off to a good start, and I've said this many times, when he gets off to a good start, what ends up happening is everybody else doesn't have to press. And by that, what I mean is if they don't press, then it makes it a lot easier, okay, for us to score. Because once we got guys, you got Dort trying to score. No. You got Wiggins and everybody trying to, no. When SGA gets us off to a good start, he starts going, we get into a flow, then everybody else can come in and they can start making plays. And as he attacks and as Josh attacks, if we just come to the basket, like with Poku coming off, and we need a good game out of him. I guess I should have put that as a key. I should have stuck that as a key to the game tonight. But as SGA goes, so goes the Thunder. It's just that simple. He's our best player, and he's having a great breakout season thus far, and I look for him to continue to keep that up and keep going. And if he does that, I think we'll be fine. Then when you look at Thunder stats. We're averaging 116 points a game, shooting 46% from the field. 3-point percentage, of course, is going up, so I like that a lot. Uh, Assists is 24.3, and then turnovers at 13.4. And remember, we want to be around 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. If we can do that, I think that will make a huge difference with the Thunder and what we are trying to accomplish. That being said, Kyrie came back. Oh, well, let's go NBA scores so we can talk a little bit about that. So, in NBA scores last night, the Pistons uh, got murdered by. The Kings are just. I mean, I don't know what's gotten into them, but they are on a roll. And I think what did they want? 9, 8 straight, and they're just on a complete roll right now. I love what they're doing. And the Pistons, they're just young. They're still trying to find their way. They're just like the Thunder, except they don't have a breakout star like we do. Cade Cunningham will get there. Jaden Ivey will get there, but it's going to take them 3 to 4 years to come into that as it did SGA. This is SGA's fifth year. So he's just really just blossoming as a player. The Grizzlies losing to the Nets. Kyrie's return. I'm glad that he's back. Uh, I thought that NBA was hard and it was harsh punishment what they did to him. Granted, he didn't apologize and all of that, but to me, uh, 5 games was more than enough for him being stupid. 10 games was over the edge. They wanted to send a message to him, and it was clearly received. But I think they may have went overboard just a little bit because Kyrie is not a anti-Semitic. He's not against the Jews. Okay, that's just ridiculous. Golden State getting a win over the Rockets, finally snapping their 0-8 road loss streak, and Clay and Steph were just on fire last night. And when they get to going, there's really not a lot you can do with it. I mean, they're just unbelievable the way that they play together. And so anyway, the Heat lost to the Cavs. I told Drew, my boy Drew Hinthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com. I told him, I said, hey, man, I'm telling you, boy, those Cavs, watch out for them. I really like what they did. And then when they added Mitchell, that I think sealed their team because he's one of those guys who can go out and just win games for you, kind of like what SGA does or SGA will be. And he's getting there. He's not quite all the way there yet, but he's definitely getting there. Nuggets over the Mavs by 1. The Mavs, we just don't know I don't know what to make of them. I really don't know what to think of the Mavs. They're just struggling offensively, defensively, all the way around. I just don't know what to think of them. The Nuggets got 98-97. That was just a slugfest because only to score 98 points. That is just, and when you would have thought over under in that game, you'd have taken the over. But the Mavs struggling to score right now. They're missing Jalen Brunson more than I think we thought they would, and I think more than they thought they would. Clearly, they don't have a guy that can replace his production off the bench. They got to find somebody though. Spurs, Lakers. How about those Lakers? 5-10, 123 to 92. I mean, that is a complete beat down. 31 points. Nice win for the Lakers. And once again, Anthony Davis is doing Anthony Davis stuff. But the question is, when is he going to stop doing that and go back to shooting threes and all that nonsense and just being the inside the paint dominant person that he was when he was the top 5 player for the Pelicans? So we'll see what happens with that. And then, of course, NBA games tonight. You have the Hawks and the Cavs. The Hawks 10-6 playing against the Cavs 10-6. So that's going to be a good game. If I wasn't going to the Thunder game, I would watch that one for show. Magic, Pacers. Excuse me. I don't really want to watch. I don't really care about either one of these teams, to be honest with you. But I'll be watching the Thunder game. Well, clearly, the Knicks are visiting the Thunder tonight. And remember, we talked about, hey, go out and go to the game. If you can't go to the game, you can't use your tickets. Hey, just call me and I'll get them to somebody. I've got a bunch of people who would love to go. I'd invite some of my kids or some of my friends, but there's tons of people who would love to go to a Thunder game if you can't go because it also makes it look good for you in attendance. Golden State against the Pelicans. I think Golden State will probably pick up their second win of road win of the season at New Orleans, but we shall see. Depends on which New Orleans guys, if Zion is playing or not. If Zion is playing, I don't think the Golden State Warriors have an answer for him, and I think that the Pelicans will win. But the question is he playing? If he's not, I'm going to take Golden State in that game. Blazers and the Bucks, man, 10-6 Blazers on the road visiting Milwaukee, 11-4 with the second best record in the NBA. And it's funny now that the East being so bad as it always has been. Now the two teams with the best records are in the East, not in the West, and that's funny. So you can either say that the East is still weak and those are the two best teams, or and the West doesn't have it because the West is so tough, top to bottom, that they're beating up on each other, which is why uh, nobody has really dominated in that. The Suns pretty much have the best record in that group, and then Utah, of course, at 12-6, not doing too bad themselves. Blazers at the Bucks. I'm going to take the Bucks at home. The Blazers are playing really, really, really well right now, but I'm still going to take the Bucks at home. You've got to hold the home front down, a la the Thunder tonight. People have to go watch them. And as I'm out and about, people are talking about the Thunder more and more. So we've got to handle our business. Celtics versus the Bulls. I think the Celtics are just on a roll. Jason Tatum is healthy, and they just really, really look good. I don't think there's a lot that you can say about the Celtics other than they're good, and they are not missing a beat uh, with Ime Udoka sitting out on the sidelines, missing out. They seem to be rolling. The new the assistant, he was their assistant last year, so it's not like he doesn't know the players, doesn't know the system, doesn't know what's happening. So clearly, he's doing all the things that he needs to do to be successful with them. Heat and the T Wolves. The Heat are rolling as always. Uh, I like what the Heat are doing there, um, and the T Wolves are just an enigma to me. I don't really know what to think about their team. I mean, one minute you're looking at them going, "Oh yeah, they're just rolling," and then you turn around and you're like, "What the hell are y'all doing?" So I don't really know what to think about that team. Drew really likes them. Me, on the other hand, not so much. Not sure exactly what you're getting from them. Uh, but that's just me. That's just how I feel about it. But of course, Drew has a different. He likes them for whatever reason that he likes them. So, uh, but anyway, let me get back to my thing over here. Jazz Clippers. The Jazz 12-6 right now. They are rolling, and and I like what I see out of the Jazz. I'm not a Jazz fan. Uh, I'm not overly pleased with them, I should say. But on the other side of that, the Jazz are rolling, and I am not a fan, and never have been a fan of them. I don't know why I don't like them. I just don't. Actually, I do know why, but I'm not going to discuss that on air because you can't bring up the past. You can only live in the future or actually in the present, and if you can do that, then you don't have to worry about anything else. Everything else pretty much takes care of itself. And so that's kind of how I look at it, and I think how anybody else should look at it. It's just one of those things where um, that that you just got to deal with, man. And if I'm gonna pick the two, I'm gonna pick the Clippers. God, I just hate saying that. I don't know if I can say that really. No, I'm not gonna pick the. Man, Jazz Clippers. Man, I don't know. I'm gonna probably have to take the Clippers. If I have to pick one, that's probably what I'm going to do. Um, that's probably what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to take the Clippers. Between the two, I have no choice but to do that. That's what I'm going to do. Take the Clippers, and that. Uh, it's going to be a full slate. I'm excited about what's happening with that. And let's go take a break and do our sponsors, Collaborative Logic. If you have any IT needs, if you need computers bought, you need software written to help your company run smoother, you need website design. They are the people that you go to over at Collaborative Logic. SRB, my guy Mark Long over at SRB. If you have any engineering, surveying, or planning, he has the dude to talk to Oak Grove Trucking, and my guy Jose Fierro. He's out. In fact, they're doing a job in Tulsa right now. So glad and really proud of you, brother. Glad you got some good stuff going on there. And then Greg and Max Nafee at Nafco. And last but not least, Y&B, family owned and operated since 1912, the bank that makes things happen. Yes, they do. They're equal housing lender, a member of the FDIC. They also are a sponsor that we go out and promote women, minority, and black-owned businesses in the community. We want to thank them for that because without them, that wouldn't happen. So if you want to pre-qualify on loan for those guys, you can do it at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com for them to to help you with any loans. And then, of course, you can go in and see Nathan Taylor, Joe Horn, or Carson, and you can walk into the bank afterwards and see them if that's what you want to do, which, hey, why not? Why not? And then, of course, we have our boy, Drew Hinthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com. He is in San Diego with the fam. So Drew's not on today. We'll probably have him on tomorrow. I think they're doing a traveling thing today. But anyway, he's there in Cali with his boy J-Dub and the fam, so they're having a good time there in California. But he has the Bulls tonight +6, and then the Hawks and Cavaliers over 226, which I'm sure that's probably a good pick simply because I think they're going to be flying up and down the court with Trae Young going against Donovan Mitchell. So I'm sure they're just going to be flying. That'd probably be a good game to watch. If I wasn't watching the Thunder game, I'd probably be watching that game as well. In college basketball, of course, he's got Georgia Tech +5, the Louisville Cardinals +15.5. Man, they must be playing at home. That's a lot of points. Creighton -3. Creighton's just slowly kicking along there, And of course, tomorrow we will have our updated AP Top 25 basketball tomorrow, as well as our power rankings for college basketball. Drew and I are going to do those. I'm going to do mine, and then Drew's going to, give his power rankings, of course, for college basketball, which is, kind of hard. But I like what I see from my Jayhawks. Somebody asked me the other day, who did I think would go to the Final Four? And right now, I think it would be North Carolina, it would be Kansas, it would be Houston, and then my fourth pick, I had to really think about that. And if I had to pick somebody, I'm going to go out on a limb and go with my boy, Trey Alexander and Creighton. That's what I think I'm going to go with. That's just off the top of my head, but I'm going to do Creighton, North Carolina, Kansas, and Houston. And Houston, maybe I've been watching them play. They played Oregon, I think it was last night. And I'm telling you what, man, I don't like Oregon's floor, though. All that, it's just busy. I mean, give me a traditional floor, nice, clean, make it nice, get to see that beautiful wood. I like that much better than what they're doing out there in Oregon. I don't really necessarily like that. But if they like it, they like it, and that's all that matters. I don't play on the court. I don't play anymore. So, it really doesn't matter what I think. That does it. But I will say this. I noticed that the short shorts are coming back. Instead of those old, long pants, everybody's doing the short shorts now. And I know that the women will definitely like that. So let's do NFL scores, of course. Man, these aren't the scores. Yes, it is. Oh, okay, because I thought that said 20. The Bears lost to the Falcons yesterday, 24-27. The Eagles, man, barely squeaked out. And it's so funny as Jalen Hurts made pretty much the whole plays with his legs for the Eagles. And I'm not sure if that's because he was scared to throw the balls or make a bad decision and he just used his legs to get it or what. But he did lead the Eagles back, and everybody was wondering if he could do that. And he brought the Eagles back to beat the Colts 17-16. Commanders, Taylor Heineke winning once again. There you go. Those Commanders, or as Drew still calls them, the Redskins. Anyway, the Commanders 23-10. They may get the Redskins back after the ownership change there. Maybe we'll see. Jets Patriots. God, what a horrible game. That game was just hard to watch. 3-3, and then of course, basically the game going in overtime. The Patriots punt. Excuse me. The Jets punt. Patriots running back for a walk off. Man, which was unbelievable. A walk-off punt return for a touchdown to win 10-3. But the Jets, 2 yards of offense the second half. Zach Wilson is not the guy. Sorry. You can't have 2 yards of offense in the second half as an NFL quarterback. You can't. Sorry, you can't do that. Rams versus the Saints. The Saints pulled it out. I tell you what, the red man was just firing on all cylinders yesterday. I mean, he really looked good. He did. But of course, he does do that from time to time. He just can't consistently pull you through on a consistent basis. The Browns and the Bills, remember they had to move that game to Detroit. And the Bills almost didn't make it for whatever reason. They decided to leave Saturday and barely got there. So anyway, the Bills come back, win 31-23, which means they're 7-3. And I think this week, probably Wednesday or something, we may do an update for all the conferences where everything is, and then kind of go back over because we're just past the midway point of the season, so we need to go rethink. And Drew and I need to go back and look at who we picked to win what division, who we had to pick what division, our playoff picks, and see how close we were. But I can tell you, I had mine a shot because I had the Chargers and the Broncos in there, so mine a shot. I can just tell you that right now. Yuck. Rams, the Panthers and the Ravens. Lamar Jackson finally, when would he go? 8 games for without scoring a touchdown with his legs. Anyway, he got a touchdown yesterday. They took care of the Panthers, 13-3. Baker Mayfield should have took the money, brother. Should have taken the money, but you didn't. Lions, Giants. Lions 31-18. They've won 4 in a row. They're on a roll. I mean, they're hitting people in the mouth. They are direct mirror image of their coach, Dan Campbell. Big, physical, want to punch you in the mouth and make you like it. Raiders, Broncos. Sorry about your Broncos last night, Jose. Man, they look terrible. God. Actually, they look good. I'm just messing with you, bro. I got to see Jose last night. I had to give him a hard time. He is so funny. Anyway, the Raiders, I don't know, Bronco fans, how the hell do you leave Devontae Adams that wide open? I mean, the one guy you account for is him. And in overtime, I just couldn't believe it. 22-16. The Raiders just break the Broncos' hearts. But the Raiders last week, should have beaten the Colts. Dude, you're wide open to make a catch to win the game, and you drop it. But then again, Travis Kelce dropped a touchdown pass against the Colts as well to get one of their other wins. So it is what it is. And, of course, we'll talk about Travis in a minute. Cowboys, 40-3. Not a lot to talk about there. Cowboys they just kicked, excuse my language, they just kicked their ass, okay? And a lot of it may have to do with their loss to Green Bay, coupled with the Vikings' emotional win over the Bills last week. So it's probably a combination of both. The Cowboys knowing that they've got to get a win. They cannot afford to lose anymore, especially with the Eagles coasting the way they're coasting. And but the Cowboys have a very favorable schedule closing out these last, 7 games, 8 games that they have left. So we'll see what they can do. Bengals and the Steelers, 37-30. That was really a good game. Kenny Pickett is going to be the answer for them. He looked pretty good. I don't mind him at all. But the Steelers, of course, getting J.J. Watt back and then losing Micah Fitzpatrick really hurt them, and you could just tell by the way they were playing. Chiefs over the Chargers, what a great game that was. And it was so funny. Everybody, we were watching the game, and everybody, to a man and a woman, when the Chargers scored, everybody went, you just gave Patrick Mahomes a minute and 40 seconds and with two timeouts. Really? Really? And you could just see Justin Herbert's face over there. He knew what was coming. And you can't say the Chargers didn't know what was coming. And it was just Patrick Mahomes, this receiver, that receiver, this receiver, that receiver. And then, of course, finishing off with who? Probably the best tight end, arguably the best tight end in history of the pro football, Travis Kelce, who has just broke the record. What does he have? 34 100-yard games, I think is what it is now. Receiving game, 34 100-yard receiving games. Breaking his tie with Gronk at 33, if I'm correct, if I remember correctly. You might fact check me on that, but I'm sure I'm right. Let me see, what else we're doing? Oh, this pains me, okay? Pains me. But my job is to report and talk to you about the news and sports. But I've got to be a professional no matter how hard it is. TCU proved to 8-0 with the great win. I don't know if you guys saw that, but what a great comeback it was, and we'll talk about the scores here in a minute. Kansas State is second at 6-2, 8-3, and I know that just pains my guy Drew Henthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com with this old guy Martinez putting KU or K-State in second place. Texas, they went from the bottom to the top. They're 5-3, 7-4 overall. Of course, my Cowboys 4-4, 7-4. Baylor 4-4, 6-5. Texas Tech 4-4, 6-5. And then OU, of course, are now bowl eligible for however many games that is in a row. I don't remember how many games that is in a row that years in a row that they've gone to a bowl game. So I'm just looking at the thing here. USA, the 74-minute mark, we're still winning 1-0. Of course, I'm going to keep everybody updated on that. Anyway, OU bowl eligible, Kansas bowl eligible. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams that are bowl eligible, and clearly West Virginia and Iowa State will miss being able to go bowling this year. So Big 12. Oops, where are my scores at? I know I did my Big 12 scores. I already did them the other day. Oh, here we go. Big 12 scores. Thank you. I know I did that yesterday. TCU, of course, beating Baylor 29-28. Kansas State 41-31 over West Virginia. I thought that game would be a lot closer. I thought that West Virginia was playing really, really well the last couple of weeks, but K-State just went in there and just went to Morgantown and just beat them up like a drum. And then Oklahoma State just 28-0 first quarter. I literally went to the bathroom at the kickoff. We literally went to the bathroom. And by the time I came back, game was over. They had scored like in a minute, whatever. Ridiculous. Ridiculous they scored so fast. I mean, you can't go to the bathroom that fast, is what I should say. Texas Tech beating Iowa State 14-10. Texas 55. Kansas, they're an enigma. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. You never know what the hell you're going to get with them. It's just crazy what you get from Kansas on a daily basis. I mean, I don't know which team is going to do what, which team is what. I mean, you don't know who you're going to get from them and what's going to happen. And then, of course, I tell you what, in college football, though, man, there was some great games. The Kentucky-Georgia game, Georgia's defense is just ridiculous. And that's why, I don't really want, I know TCU is fourth in the country, but Bama would kill them. Georgia would murder them. They're a good team, but it's kind of like Cincinnati. They didn't belong. I mean, you want it's a nice story, and yeah, you want to stick somebody in there, but who the hell wants to watch a 40-point beatdown? Nobody. I just don't want to see that. Illinois and Michigan. Uh, man, the calls that some of these guys were getting from the officials, I'm sure the Michigan fans will take it. Great job coming back and winning 1917. UCLA and USC, what a game that was. I mean, what a game that was. Uh, Caleb Williams, he's a monster. He's just a beast. He's he is a straight up beast. I mean, he's pretty good. As if we didn't already know that, but he's pretty good. Great game. USC just doing what they had to do to get a job done. The defense actually came up with a bunch of plays, which is what SC does. You run up and down the field on them, but their defense will make a play, get a turnover, do something. It reminds me of the old OU defenses that he was having. He's going to have to find him some players on defense, that's for sure. But they probably can get some now because they're doing what they're doing. And if SC did the way that Pete Carroll do it, all the best players on the West Coast, as far as California and Arizona, all of them, they're not going to leave the West. They're going to stay right there. They're not going to go to Alabama. They're not going to go to Georgia. They're not going to go to OU. They're not going to go to Texas. They're not going to any of those places. They're going to stay right there in warm and sunny California and make the Trojans brand name again. I think that's what's going to happen. Utah and Oregon, good game that was. Oregon took care of business once again at home, 20-17 over Utah. And, people were talking about how great Utah was and all of this and that. I'm like, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And what I see is that, yeah, they're just okay. And Ole Miss, man, Arkansas just punched them in the mouth. I mean, just punched them straight in the mouth and just took it over. I was like, wow. I mean, they just went bam, punched them right in the mouth. And it was over with that fast. It didn't seem like it was, but god dang. Oh my God. But anyway, great games in college. Now, tomorrow we'll be discussing more about the World Cup. And let's check on it. And check on to see if my boys. Uh, we're checking on the score right there. That's what I was doing. Sorry, everybody. I was checking on the score. My boys, everybody's sending me messages. I'm like, well, watch the show. If you're watching the show, I've already said. I just looked up there on my thing, 1-0. I got the game right there. Okay, I got the game right down my other deal. I know what the score is. But thank you for encouraging and thank you for seeing that. But I do have two screens here. So one screen has got the show on it. The other screen has got the game on it. So I'm doing double duty today. NHL scores from yesterday. Wasn't a lot going on in hockey. I don't know. I'll have my guy Ben on tomorrow. My boy Ben Dillman will be talking about hockey stuff tomorrow because there's like 10 games tonight. So he'll have a full slate for us tomorrow. But last night, only 2 games. The Blue Jackets, 5. The Panthers, 3. The Blackhawks losing 5-3 to the Penguins. My boy Jose is like, "Hey, my bad, I'm in Tulsa working." I know I already said that, but I'm watching the game, bro. I got it right there. You want me to take a picture and send it to you? Anyway, the Penguins beat the Blackhawks 5-0. And then, of course, the games today, look at how many of those. We have 10 games today, starting out with the Bruins and the Lightning, at 6 o'clock tonight. Then the Flames and the Flyers at 6. The Oilers at the Devils, 6 o'clock again tonight. And then the Islanders and the Leafs at 6 p.m. So you got 4 good games, pretty much. Well, 2 good games. I mean, you got Ben's Bruins. You've got, Drew. Whoa, all 3 of our teams are going today. Hey, how about that? You got the Hurricanes against the Jets tonight, the Jets, Jets, Mets, Jets. And then the Jets, Mets, Jets. That's what I'm going to do. Coyotes against the Predators. And then, of course, the Ducks against Drew's Blues at 7 o'clock. And then my Stars are at home tonight against the Avalanche. Wish I could go down there and see that. I need to check and see if they've got some games this weekend. That's what I need to do. The G Knights and the Canucks. the G Knights, man, the Golden Knights, they're playing really well, but I hope they lose. And then the Senators and the Sharks. I need my guy Ben Dillman on there to give me all the updates and tell us all what's happening. And the one thing I want to brag about my guys is that the crew that I have are fantastic. Drew Henthorn and what he gives us as far as the games and what's happening. Oh man, Wales just scored in the 81-minute mark to tie it up 1-1. Man, anyway, it's 1-1. All that red, they're going crazy right now, 1-1 in the 81-minute mark. So they are fired up and they are crazy about their soccer over there. So the USA, just like I said, they just scored with a minute, and that's just that was frustrating. Let me text Jose to let him know. 1-1. But Wales is good. You got to make that, and of course the clip, and that was a BS, and of course the penalty kick got him in. But I don't know if that really was. I think that's a bunch of crap. Almost got there, but it was a good. I mean, the USA is doing what they need to do to try to stay in. So, that being said, hey, I want everybody to have a happy Monday. I'm gonna go back and watch this game. I want everybody to stay out of trouble. Enjoy this. Hey, go play some golf. It's a great day. We're gonna have this whole week. You get to go play some golf. You get to eat some ham and some turkey on Thursday. I know I'm gonna be going to my sister's house. I'm gonna get some full on some ham, some turkey, some gimlet gravy, some mashed potatoes, some greens. Oh man, those rolls. Oh my God, I cannot wait. Cannot wait. So that being said, I want everybody to be safe out there. Have a fantastic